Today, we're going to look at how to use COPY to with GlareDB to take the results of your queries and quickly output them as files to share with your colleagues. Let's dive in. First things first, you'll want to make sure that you have GlareDB installed. In this case, we're using the GlareDB Python bindings in a Jupyter notebook, and of course this will work just as well with the CLI. Once we have the library installed, we're going to import GlareDB and set up our connection. Let's take a look at the files we have locally. If we list the files in our current working directory, you'll see that in addition to this actual notebook that we're working in, we also have a suppliers.csv file and a northwind.db file, which I'll talk about momentarily. Before we do that, I'm going to demonstrate the copy to function. We're going to use the connection object we made earlier together with .sql, and we'll take this simple query, select one, and output it to a CSV. When we run this and list our files again, you'll see that we now have this copy.csv. Okay, so about the data we're going to use here, we're going to be using a SQLite database, specifically the Northwind database, which is kind of like an archetypal database example that's used to demonstrate a relational database. It has a bunch of different tables with foreign key relations like orders, customers, products, etc. In this case, we're going to join the products table from our SQLite database with the CSV file over here that's containing our suppliers. All right, so let's run this and just take a look at our products table. So you see here we have product ID, product name, and a bunch of different pieces of information about our products. All right, let's take a look at our suppliers.csv file. And similar, we have a bunch of companies and IDs and contact names. Okay, so these both look good. The next thing we're going to do is just going to make sure that these join up okay. So we're going to join them using the read SQLite, read CSV, and we're going to join from suppliers.id to products.supplierID. If we run this, you'll see we have a pretty wide table now with all of our joins. All right, now that we have that, we can just run copy to. We're going to take call copy, and then we have our query from above in parentheses. And we're going to copy this to a CSV file that's just called joindata.csv. Let's run it and take a look. Okay, so if we call, well, first let's call ls and list our files, and you'll see that we now have joindata.csv. And now let's just confirm that everything copied correctly, so we can select from the joindata.csv file that we just created. And there you have it. We now have our new file that we've created, and we can share it with colleagues or we can archive it. Copy to can output to a number of different files like CSV, Parquet, JSON, JSON, and in addition to copying to local storage, it can also copy to all of the major cloud providers. So you could copy this to your S3 bucket or your, GCS object storage. Check out the links below for our docs on copy to, as well as the sample data. And happy copying.